Good morning. What y'all say? It's good to be back. We had a great time last weekend in Texas. And it was a wonderful time. Got to see some old friends and hang out a little bit, and then get back home. It was also nice to get back home. Marble Falls is a gorgeous, gorgeous place to visit. Horrible, horrible, desolate place to live. But there's lots of cool people out there. So. Anyway, we had a good time. The kids had a blast, and but we're happy to be back. It's been a busy week, and it's going to be another busy week for us. But we're just eating it up, getting it as we can. So before we get started, it'll be time for the kiddos to go up. The Buckaroos to go up. That's 8 and under. 8 and under can go upstairs to the Buckaroos. Have all kinds of fun up there. Don't be shy. I don't have a clue, man. I don't have a clue. I wish I could help you there. But it's a beautiful morning. It was a cold morning this morning, and it took all that I had to get out of bed and go feed the animals. When it's 27 degrees, I think, when I was out there. It was not easy for me. But by golly, I got it done, and I made it here on time. Anyway, let's get started with a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I just thank you for the day. I thank you for the sunshine, Lord. I thank you for the rain that you're going to send. I thank you for all the things that we need, even though sometimes, Lord, we don't think we do. I thank you for the blessings that you give us, just getting up in the morning, being able to live another day to serve you. I just pray that we'll remember that you'll put it in our hearts, and that you'll guide us every day to seek you more. Love you. Lord, you're an awesome, you're a merciful, and you're a mighty God. We thank you for all of the blessings. In your name I pray. Amen. So this morning we're going to be talking about the ranch next door. Alright? The ranch next door is, you ever had cows and it was in the wintertime and you had ryegrass planted in a pasture, one pasture, and you didn't have ryegrass planted in another pasture, and they were in the ryegrass, you had them in that pasture, but they decided the dead grass on the other side was greener? I've seen it, and it's disturbing. I kind of wonder if there's something wrong with those couple of cows or something. But you know, sometimes that's the case. And in fact, the grass may be dead on both sides of the fence. They're still going to get out and go the other side because they think it's greener. The grass is always greener on the other side. And especially if you have bulls, it's always greener on your neighbor's ranch. It never fails. If you have bulls, their pasture is always greener and their heifers are always prettier. So that is the general consensus that I've come up with, right? Or conclusion, maybe conclusion is a better word for that. But the ranch next door, it's always prettier, it's always greener, they always have better grass than you do. It's kind of depressing sometimes. But you know, that what you feel in that instance whenever you drive by every day and you see their pretty gate archway has their big name across the front, you're like, man, I wish I had one of those. That'd be nice. My place would just stand out if I had one of those. Or you drive by their pasture and it's nice and green. They just fertilized it a couple of weeks ago right before a good soaking rain, and their pastures are all green and nice and pretty. Their cows are fat, fattest cows you ever saw. Every time, all year long. They never have skinny cows. I've never figured people. If there's people that never have skinny cows, I don't know how they do it. Because when they have babies, them suckers will suck them suckers dry. I mean dry. But their cows are always fat. I'm like, man, how do they do that? And then, it doesn't ever look like they're fixing fence because they got brand new fence everywhere. Well, they probably got brand new fence everywhere because they kept having to fix it. Right? They finally just said, that's it. Get done with it. Or one cow took it all out. Everybody's got that one cow that will take a fence and not just take a couple of posts, they'll take the whole fence down to get to wherever they want to go. But this ranch is the way you see it, they have the biggest tractor, they have the best tractor, they have a brand new tractor, seems like every year, nice cab, air conditioned, heated. They don't have to worry about the dust in the summer and the hay baling and all that. And they don't have to worry about the rain and all that. In the wintertime, they just ride in comfort all year long. It's just great. Yep. And you have a 1980 model Massey Ferguson with a barely working front end loader and no cab and no top. And you have to put out hay when it's 32 degrees outside and raining. That's the nature of the beast. While he's riding around in his air-conditioned heated cab with defrost on, so he don't have any. He can see everything, but he don't ever get wet or dirty or nasty. He don't ever have to get out in the mud. That's the ranch next door, and it seems like it's always that way, whether it actually is really, truly reality. But that's the way we view it. Grass is always green on the other side. Everybody's already got it easier. But what you don't know is that they may be dealing with things that you don't have to deal with. Like notes. All your stuff's paid for. You don't have a note on anything. But with them new tractors and with them new fences and with them nice pretty fat cows come notes. So there again, you don't always see that. But everything's always better on the other side. See, we are humanly sinful in the fact that we are jealous. We are jealous people. We are jealous beings. We always see what somebody else has and we got to have it. 15, 20 years ago, not everybody had a cab tractor. Now, it seems like everybody's got a cab tractor. Not everybody. I know. We don't have one. Well, I don't own one. I put it that way. But, not everybody has a cab tractor. But it seems like everywhere you go now, it seems like there's cab tractors everywhere. Where before, you saw everybody going down the road and they were in an open cab. There wasn't no cab. But it's like, all of a sudden everybody decided that a cab tractor was the thing you had to have. Don't get me wrong. They're nice. I enjoy it. I don't have to be outside in the balling sun or in the sleet and rain. I'm okay with that. But it ain't something I got to have. I can get my stuff done without it. Just got to bundle up a little more. Right? Look, they make plenty of clothes. They do not make plenty of clothes for me. I mean, when I get done layering up in the wintertime, I probably look like I weigh 300 pounds. I gotta walk around like this. Right? We got to have what everybody else wants. We want what everybody else has. Right? The best truck, they got a brand new truck. They got a brand new this. We have an old beat up beater that we barely, you got to spray ether in it in the wintertime to get it to crank. It ain't even got a plug in on it. You can't even warm it up before you get in it. We got to have what everybody else has. You know what happens when you've got to have what everybody else has? You get them notes too. The problem is they're running enough cattle to pay for them notes. You ain't got the space for that. But it's always a ranch next door that looks better than what we got. It's always us seeing that we're jealous of what they have. Because it seems like they just got it easy. They never had to fix a fence. They just ride an air conditioned tractor all day and just do whatever they want. But you know, they made a decision to do what they've done. You've made a decision to do what you've done, and God has given you all the things that you got. He's got you in a place where you are for a reason. Then maybe that reason is cattle is about, well, they did this fall. They dropped off like nobody's business. And this person that's got all this stuff and brand new fence and running some yearlings or whatever, they probably lost a good bit of money last year or this fall as they were late on selling their calves. All right? But you weren't, because you didn't have any notes, so you didn't have to worry about it. All your stuff was profit anyway. See what I'm saying? There's always, God's got you in a place for a reason. Maybe it's your truck. Maybe it's an old truck. I'm not saying mine's old, but it's old. Man, them new trucks look so good and comfy. I rode in one, a couple of them. They're nice. You can connect your phone to it without ever having to worry about anything. Ruben asked me this morning, he said, Daddy, put on some happy music. I said, baby, we're in the truck. I can't do that. I can't just say what the radio to play. Where in Mama's car, it's, just click a few buttons and you got whatever song you want, They're nice and pretty. They got all kind of bells and whistles. But guess what? Mine's paid for. I don't have that note every month. Boy, it's hard when you see everybody driving them suckers. It's like, man, if I could just get one of them, everything would be better, right? Everything would be okay. No, not everything would be okay. But just as soon as I bought one of them suckers, gas would shoot up to $5 a gallon. And right now I get 20 miles a gallon, and them suckers don't get but about 15. I'd be in a bind. Right quick and in a hurry. I done that before. We had 2 diesel trucks in our family, and we were newlyweds, and we didn't make but little pennies on the dollar, and diesel was $5 a gallon. I thought we was going to starve to death. We couldn't even drive to the grocery store to get food because it cost more to drive to the grocery store than it would to get the food. Shame. We got wise after that. Now we only have 1 diesel truck. But it's easy to be jealous of what somebody else has because we don't know the circumstances. We don't know what's going on. In fact, it is work. Hear me now. It is work to not be jealous of what somebody else has. It takes effort to not be jealous of what somebody else has. It's difficult. It ain't easy. It takes work. This feeling of jealousy, this feeling of wanting what other people's got because it seems like they got it better, is not a godly feeling. This is not from God. Understand this. This is not from God. This is a Satan thing. And what he's doing is he's trying to put up a wall between you and God, because whenever you start this jealousy thing, it leads to other stuff, and we're going to talk about that at the end today. But he's trying to separate you from God. That's what he's trying to do. So he's getting you driving because you got to get, you got to go get something from the feed store, and you just happen to pass this place on the right-hand side that's just gorgeous. I mean, you see, man, if I could have that sucker. Right. I won't that. He'll make you do that. He'll pass by. He'll make sure you have to pass by there every time you go. So you have to look at it and be like, yeah, them boogers. Or he'll make you pass by somebody that's got a truck you want. Man, or a bed. Kind of gotten into these flatbed deals. I got some flatbed. They cost some money. They're proud of them suckers. God wants you to be happy with what you have. Okay? God wants you to be happy with where He's got you. What He's got you doing. If you're in His will now, understand this, you got to be in His will if you're going to get your contentment and your joy from Him. You got to be seeking Him. But that's where He wants you. He wants you to be seeking Him. He wants you to be where He's got you. And He wants you to be happy about where He's got you and what He's got you doing. The devil's going to come in and he's going to say, no. You need better stuff. You need an upgrade. We're bad about that with our daggum phones. If you got a 2-year-old phone, that sucker is old. I mean ancient. If you got a flip phone, that thing is old as dirt. Has anybody got a flip phone in here? Nobody's got a flip phone in here? I only know a handful of people. They are weirdos. I'm just kidding. You got to upgrade every year, every 2 years, or else you got something that's outdated. You can't even call nobody on no more because it won't accept the tower, won't accept the transmission from the this and the that. And I'm like, this one phone I can call somebody on. Of course, now everybody does all that. I don't even know what you call all that thing. Social media stuff. God wants you to be happy where you are and what you got. How He's got you going. All right? He don't want you to be jealous of other people because that separates you from Him. That separates you from His love. That gets you wanting stuff that ain't yours. All right? Look at James chapter 3, verse 14 through 16. We're going to get into a little bit of this. All right? This is some good stuff now. So y'all don't pass this up. Write it down, underline it, write you a note, put you a bookmark, do something fun. Are y'all ready? Are you there? Speed it up. Let's go. Alright. James chapter 3, verse 14 through 16. But if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and evil of every kind. You see, this jealousy thing, this is not just, okay, it's not so bad to be a little jealous, all right? See, I have this problem, okay? I'm not saying it's okay to be jealous. But what jealousy does is it's the beginning. It's the start. All right? It's like the little bitty seedling that pops up out of the ground. You know, when you plant your ryegrass and you start seeing this little bitty green thing popping up, you're like, woohoo! Throw some fertilizer on that sucker. Let's get it going. That's what jealousy does. All right? Or maybe it's a tallow tree. Does anybody have tallow trees in their place? All right? Let's think of this because tallow trees aren't as good as ryegrass. Ryegrass is really good stuff, but tallow trees are the devil. I swear they are. I mean, they are the devil, born straight from the pits of hell. They're bad. All right. So you got this tallow tree, and he just pokes his little head up out the ground, right? But you don't do nothing about it. You just kind of, it'll go away. It'll go away. You don't do nothing about it. You don't spray, you don't cut it down, you don't pull it up by the root. You don't do anything. You just let it go. Well, next year, that tallow tree is just a little bit more than that coming out of the ground. That tallow tree's up to him. And so you're like, it'll be all right. I still got it. Whatever. I'll deal with it later. I'm okay with it how it is now. Well, what you didn't know is that year, that sucker sprouted some seeds and went, and that year you got 100 of them popping up around that tallow tree. And you can't get in there with a bush hog this year because it's wet, and you can't get in there because it's wet because you just sunk your tractor. brand new 120 horse John Deere cab tractor. Because you had to have it, because your neighbor had one. So the tallow tree, the first tallow tree is like yay tall. And the other tallow trees are got this high. Well, why, before you know it, you got a forest of tallow trees where you used to have good pasture. The devil. They are the devil. And so is jealousy. It is from the devil. You let that jealousy just get a little bit. You say, I ain't worried about it. It's all right. I'll deal with it later. Well, that jealousy is going to grow and grow and grow. Before you know it, it's going to get out of hand. You're going to be wanting things that you ain't never wanted in your life. Because you saw it on television, or you saw your buddy have one, he bought one, or whatever. Things that you ain't got no business with. I mean, who is a cattle farmer and buys a $150,000 chicken house in South Louisiana? Nobody. But you had to have it because your neighbor talked about it. Jealousy, it leads to bad, dumb things, right? It's bad. And it makes you bitter. It makes you not happy. You no longer have joy in the Lord. You are so mad at the world because you just bought a $150,000 chicken house and you ain't got no chickens. And so you're mad. It makes you bitter. It makes you crazy. You're like, no, I can't believe what I'm doing. And so you get mad at everybody. But it was started with that little bitty tallow tree seed. And all of a sudden you got a forest of tallow trees where you used to have a hay field or a good grazing pasture. Bad stuff. And it gets bad fast. This ain't no slow deal, all right? It gets bad fast. You know, the other thing we see as far as not material things is all that jealousy that I've been talking about is all about material stuff. It's all about what people have and all that. But you know the other way we're jealous, we get jealous, is watching other people and how they act and what they do. They got these people out there called free spirits. And I apologize if you consider yourself a free spirit here. But these people have no care whatsoever. They live a carefree lifestyle. They don't care about nobody or nothing. They just live however they want to live, and they just go on and do whatever they want to do. They don't care about nothing or nobody. And sometimes we think, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could live like that. I wish I could just go and do whatever I wanted to. But no, we got kids, we got a farm, we got animals. By golly, if you got animals, you ain't going nowhere. If you do, it ain't gonna be for long. But we envy these people. We're jealous of how they act and what they do. Because why? Because it sounds fun. It sounds like something we'd have done in our 20s or late teens. You know? There's a reason that you'd have done that in your late teens, early 20s. Called young and dumb. Right? And some people don't ever grow up. It's really funny. I tell you yesterday. I got both worlds in my house. I got one of my children that wants to grow up tomorrow. I mean, wants to be old tomorrow. Will talk to you like a grown-up. Freaks me out. I got another kid that just wants to be bigger, physically. Don't want to grow up, just wants to be bigger. Right? Those are two different things. One of those will get along all right when they get older. The other one, if he grows up, physically and not mentally, emotionally, he's going to have issues. right? But it's those people that don't ever grow up mentally and physically and emotionally. Those are the people that end up being carefree, go out and do whatever they want all the time anyway. All right? It's called lack of responsibility. It's in essence, okay? And we aren't supposed to want that. Because why? Because that takes us away from the responsibilities that we have as Christians, as fathers, as mothers, as responsible people, right? It's wrong. Look at Psalms chapter 37, verse 1 through 4. These people are not living for tomorrow. They're not living for eternity. They're not living for God at all. Okay? They are living for themselves, and they're living for right now. Whatever feels good, I'm going to do it. I'll just roll with it. Whatever happens, it happens. I ain't going to worry about it. No care in the world. I'm just living for today. Doing what's fun today. Tomorrow will be something different. The next day will be something different. I don't have no goals. I don't have anything to do. I just living for me, living for today, doing whatever the heck I want. It's fun. Fantastic. Look at Psalms chapter 37, verse 1 through 4. It says, "Don't worry about the wicked or envy those who do wrong. For like grass, they soon fade away. Like spring flowers, they soon wither. Trust in the Lord and do good. Then you will live safely in the land and prosper. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." I'm sorry, your heart's desires. Different translation. I know a lot of people in here probably recognize that last verse. It's pretty popular. A lot of people say, "Oh, if you just trust in the Lord, He'll give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you what you want if you just trust in Him. Just trust that He'll give it to you." I know a lot of pastors use that, and they get a lot of money for that. Them big mega churches, they tell you what you want to hear and say, "Oh, trust in the Lord. He'll give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you this $100 million right here. Woo! Then you can give it back to me." But sometimes they don't read before and after that. Right? God wants you to have the desires of your heart. But understand that if your desires are worldly, if you're not seeking Him, if you're not in the Word, if you don't know what He wants out of you, then your desires are going to be worldly, and He's not going to give you any of it. Because you don't desire what He desires. Understand that. What you want isn't a brand new tractor, or a brand new truck, or a bigger place, or a nicer house, or the next big thing, whatever it may be. That's what your heart desires, if you're this way. I'm not saying it's like that there. But if you're seeking Him, if you're just ate up with it, with Him, you're going to know what He's doing. You're going to know what you need to do next. You're going to know what His desires are for you. He's going to give it to you. He's going to give you what you need, not necessarily what you want. Right? You got to understand. We're supposed to stay away from the people that have that carefree, I don't care about anything or anybody attitude. Right? Being jealous of that is throwing away all the responsibility that you've gained up until this point. And it's not at all listening to God and what He has in mind for you. Because we talked about earlier about selfish ambition. That's what it's all about. It's about selfishness. It's about doing things for me. Because I want it. Because I need it. Because it make my life better. Make my life easier. I'm all about making things easy, alright? I ain't about doing things the hard way if I ain't got to. If I got access to a cab tractor, you better believe I'll be driving a cab tractor. So what does jealousy lead to? Jealousy is the beginning. It's not the end. Jealousy is the beginning. It's the seed. It's the start. It's the little seedling. The end. The actual real sin is coveting. It's coveting. What is coveting? Wanting somebody else's stuff. Yearning, not just wanting it, but yearning for it. Thinking about it so much you stay up at night because your neighbor just bought a brand new tractor. Oh my God, I gotta have one! That's yearning for it, right? I got to have it. I got to have it. Being consumed by the jealousy is coveting. We talked about the tallow tree. When your pasture gets consumed by tallow tree, you're divine. You're divine. That's what coveting is. It's when your pasture is full of tallow trees. Your pasture is consumed by the devil. The things that the devil gives us. That's coveting. You're consumed with jealousy in every point of your life. And it can happen like that. You can go from being happy with everything you got to being consumed by jealousy. Just that fast. And that's by not seeking His face. Last one. Exodus 27. We'll wrap this up together. Exodus 20:17. You must not covet your neighbor's house. You must not covet your neighbor's wife, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. So in other words, you cannot be consumed with jealousy of anything your neighbor has. Man, that is hard. Because some of our neighbors have really nice stuff that we would really like to have. It's all right to look at it. It's all right to ask them to borrow it from time to time. Don't ask them too much, because then they won't let you. But being consumed with the desire to want what they have is wrong. It's wrong. And it's going to get you in a bind. Because just as soon as you go by that cab tractor, it's going to break every other week. And not only are you going to have to pay the note, you're going to have to pay to fix it. It's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen. It's just somehow that's the way things go. That's how God designs them. When you buy something you ain't supposed to have. Or something you're not ready for. This is the 10th commandment. Do not covet what your neighbor's got. This is the last one. The ending. You do not do this. Along with not murdering and not telling a lie, not cheating on your husband or wife. Don't covet what your neighbor's got. This is not just a, oh, by the way, you might want to think about this. This is a do not do this. It's wrong. It will mess you up. It will bring you away from me, is what God's saying. Right? This will separate me and you. And that ain't good. That ain't good. That's not what He wants. He wants us to be close to Him. He wants to have a personal relationship with us. He wants to be be all about Him. Be ate up with Him. Just in the Word, just loving Him. That's what He wants. He doesn't want to be separated from us. He wants to be with us. He wants to be close. He wants to help us. But if we keep putting up a wall, coveting what everybody else got, that ain't good. we're not going to have that relationship.